Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I don't know if I can manage to talk in 20 minutes. This is the hardest part of my life because I usually talk a lot and I love talking. And this time I need to talk only in very short time, in 20 minutes, which, okay, it's my challenge. Yeah. Just now we were listening to two presenters talking about similar things, the use of the technology. I think I love many applications since technology, more advanced technology arrived back in late 80s, early 90s. When I first using it back in UK in early 90s, my friends from more developed country asked me, "You are from the third world country. How come you manage using computer very well?" And I said, lihat aja ntar. So I love using it and I try to keep up with the technology because I don't want to be teachers who are replaced by technology. So teachers who are going to be replaced by technology are those who are not using technology. That's it. So please spread out the news. If teachers do not want to use, like Ibu Umi said, terus Bu Umi nggak enak bilang yang tua, jadi yang nggak mau keep up teknologi, nah itu siap-siap diganti oleh teknologi. Now, in my class, I thought I'm going to share it for 1 hour, so I prepare 1 hour sessions, okay? Kegeeran nih ya orang tua. Tapi dalam 20 menit, karena tadi pesannya Pak Joko nasional, jadi saya campur bahasa Indonesia ya, supaya masih nasionalnya keluar ya. Ini tadinya tidak sengaja dibikin research untuk ITEL, tapi waktu pas udah pertengahan kuliah, saya ingat wah ini kayaknya bisa di-share karena saya melihat banyak sekali pembelajaran yang bisa kita ambil. So that's why I tape it and I learn more. Ini adalah kelas saya public speaking semester lalu. Background alasannya, unsatisfied with the time allocated for public speaking. Public speaking, mahasiswanya nggak jelas bahasa Inggrisnya kayak apa. Then I only had like 3 hours per session. Various level of students' English competencies, starting from the one who's still struggle. They are in semester 5, still struggle with their English, to somebody who's very fluent and once was abroad. Students' meek behavior, always waiting for the tugas, so they're meek, ya, obedient tapi nggak jelas gitu. Students' motivation were, to me, low enough because they thought they were going to be asked to talk all the time, or some of them just waited for me to talk and they listen how to do public speaking. Then somehow problematic syllabus. I didn't really dare to say problematic, somehow problematic. So the purpose is to develop students' awareness that public speaking class are tools for their professional and personal life. It's not just mata kuliah. So actually, what I'm talking about here are things that was talked about during the earlier session by Bajati. So how we function as a teacher, as human being, using the human side, the thinking skill, to handle the class with technology. The technology I use is very simple. Recording, speaking, public speaking, presentation, using video recording from the student's smartphone. To help the students maximize their learning in their own ways. So it's really to personalize the learning so that students will develop their self-motivation. To give students more time to practice. This is all my objective that I still remember, you know. The purpose of the project is to lead the students to find out about their own competence and to find the gap between where they are to what they want to achieve. So in my class, I was not talking about learning materials. And I think this is what we need to remember when we handle the class. We don't make the students master the material, but we help the students to achieve learning objective. To achieve learning objective. Not to master the materials or to understand the materials. Because even though they master the materials, if they don't achieve the objective, it's not useful. Then, to develop digital literacy and critical thinking, that was actually the first thing in my mind. Because I realized that students now, they can use different kind of application, but it doesn't always mean that they are digitally literate. They don't really know when to use it, how to use it appropriately, and then they don't really have the attitude of using the technology, and that's what I want to develop actually. And the critical thinking, because this is for the last 10 years, I was talking about critical thinking in all sessions that I have. I try to insert it. To encourage students to realize that technology can help them. Yeah? Technology shouldn't conquer them, but technology help them. Yeah? So far, I think in many classes that I pip, in many classes in campus, many students use their smartphone while the lecturer giving lecture. And I was so surprised. How come? So, how can the lecturer connect to the student's brain when the lecturer talk about things that they probably, halfly know, and the students work on something else. And during the exam, students were busy finding out what will be the test material. So I cannot live with that kind of situation. So that's why when I was given the syllabus, I was like, ooh, yeah. And these are all the students. There were 17 of them. The public speaking syllabus is like, all these very normative sort of objective. But I still try to keep, the keyword from the objective. Yeah? So it's like, kapan dan bagaimana. Then I was trying to insert it in the lesson. So these are all. And I showed them to the students because they are candidate teacher. So they need to understand that this kind of syllabus is not easy to be taught in class. So actually I target 2 points. Number 1 is my own class, that's public speaking. And because they are candidate teacher, then I show them, look at this syllabus. Do you think this syllabus helped me as a teacher to teach you as the students? So, while talking about this, my candidate teacher student then try to think about, yeah. Then I introduce them that materials is your tool. Your target is the objective. If the objective is not clear, do you think the students will learn something? Then of course they say, no. Okay, so what can we do with our syllabus? How can we re-engineer the objective so that it doesn't go out from this formal objective from campus, but you and I will learn something? Then we try to put things in order. I'm so sorry that I cannot put it here because I wrote it down. I didn't type it at that time. So in the class, because I didn't mean it for research, then the notes is scattered around, And I just want to give you this story. Then of course, because on the first day I saw the syllabus, then I decided that on the first day, we are talking all about these things. What is public speaking? Why is it essential skill in 21st century? I'm not talking about public speaking so that they are going to be the member of public House of Representative or politician. No, I'm talking about the characteristic of effective public speaking with them. And as teachers, we are all public speakers. We all need to be able to speak in public and understood. And people get out from our room, get something. That's my beginning in the class. So the students keep that in mind. Then, the next thing, find sites that help them to learn English. Because on the first day, I can capture that, some of them need a lot of more English. So video yourself, maximum 2 minutes talking about yourself. On that very first day, I didn't ask them to show the video. I want them to watch themselves. Now, as if you are your friend, somebody that just know you, listen to you introducing yourself. How would they feel? I'm not talking about the language first. I'm talking about how would you feel. Because when we talk about public speaking, we are talking about how people feel about our talk. Not the language. Whether I'm grammatically right or not, that's the next one. But the first thing is how people feel. Do they feel motivated? Do they feel bored? So they said, oh man, my introduction was not good. Okay, talk about it. So the whole 3 hours we were talking about that and revise their introduction because they are always ready with their smartphone in the pocket, right? So just try and try. So that's the first day, sebagai nuansa. And then the last 30 minutes, I was talking with them, what are we going to achieve in this semester? So these are all this boring syllabus. And it's like sesi-sesinya itu nanti semuanya adalah ceramah, presentasi, diskusi, tanya jawab. Ceramah, diskusi. This is public speaking, and then how can I be ceramah? Ya? So, jadi itu yang saya bilang tadi, syllabus that is somewhat just made. So we have to be aware whether you are involved yourself in developing the syllabus or not. We need to understand what is in the syllabus in order that we can achieve objective and not just delivering materials. This is very important. This is the message that I want to send in this session. Then the process. So the first one, we are evaluating and agreeing the syllabus, emphasizing the importance of having clear objective. So the objectives are not only clear for me, but the objectives were also clear for the students. So they know exactly what to achieve at the end of the semester. Yeah? Assessing students' ability and attitude. So while the lesson, I assess their attitude towards the learning. How they perform. Did they want to hide themselves behind their friends? Or they stay confidently and wanting to talk? So I evaluate that and I have notes of everyone. I have a little note for everyone. And to help myself, I was using this because there is a note in this, right? This is not the note, yeah? This is just ordinary. But I use note application to record all my lessons. In the note application, I can take picture, I can record the audio, I can insert the video, so I use this. So I have notes of this class. Then I can just write, this person, attitude is like this, knowledge, English is like this. So on the first day, I have their notes. And then Students found out from different resources how effective public speaking look like. So on the first day, second day, I just want them to find out, according to their opinion, what is effective public speaking. Then they make their own decision. Then we revise it together. And then after that, I ask them to recheck whether, somebody who they consider as an effective public speaker follow their criteria. Then we agree on the criteria. And then I let them choose, decide list of criteria, and students prioritize what they want to achieve first. And what they want to achieve. Oh, kalau saya tuh suka gampang, masih malu kalau mau ngomong. Kalau saya tuh bahasa Inggris saya jelek. Kalau saya itu begini, kalau saya itu begini. Okay, in this class we are going to discuss things that challenge yourself. So I am coming as a teacher who support you to achieve your own objective. But your own objective is not going to be out of our objective. Okay? So they set their personal priority. Students define individually how they wanted to achieve their personal objective in order to achieve the course objective. This is the critical thinking way. This is where the critical thinking is. They have to assess themselves. And then again, I ask them to find self-study materials from the internet, and they have to decide which one they use to improve themselves. And they love it, The students love it because they use smartphone for themselves, and it's like it's just another toy for them to find something useful for their own development. Discussion process were recorded. So during the discussion, every session, jadi di kelas ini, saya tidak pernah meminta mahasiswa untuk berdiri ke depan, ngomong, terus kita ngomongin apa yang diomongin. So the ngomong will be all videotaped. The classroom session are all about discussing what they have done, and because they have the criteria of effective public speaking, then they check in which part they are not yet there. So during the discussion, their friends also share. So the sense of collaboration is very high. Everybody share things that can be useful for themselves as well as for others. And I'm there as their moderator, giving them things which I think I need to interfere in their discussion. Minimize psychological barrier and maximize group work and pair work. So what is the psychological barrier? Psychological barrier is like response from their friends. So friends who responds in their body language or comment which are not appropriate, then I usually talk about it. If somebody comment you that way, how would you feel? And in public speaking, no one can be perfect. But everyone is perfect for themselves. So in this case, then the students build the attitude, not just the knowledge and the skill of public speaking. Attitude strongly grow because at the end of the semester, the last session before the ujian, I asked them, besides the learning objective that we have set, what do you achieve? And I think most of them or all of them say attitude. Huh? Then I was surprised because I didn't teach them attitude. Right? But they capture the attitude by themselves. Because they regulate themselves, right, in the class. Because they used to regulate themselves, then, they grow their own, self-regulated attitude, punctuality attitude, so many things. And they say, why we now do not want to just, hang out outside the classroom, sitting talking about nothing. Lah, saya bilang, kalian belajar di kelas saya public speaking, kenapa nggak tahu, Bu? Nah, itu further research yang harus dikerjakan. So I said S-Note is very helpful because I use it constantly, but this is my challenge. Sometimes I was so excited and I forgot to write notes. Yes, and if only that at the beginning I set it as a research, then I would probably remember all the time. Because I set it as, trying better things to do in the class, then I didn't always remember that I have to do the note. Students record their identity gradually from 1 minute to 3 minutes. So they have to tell people, how are you going to tell things that people most likely do not know about you? And you know what behind this attitude that I want them to grow is openness. I want them to be open about themselves, looking at themselves as someone who can do something, and there are also big things that I have. This is challenging. But actually this is what to help them to find the tune of not feeling shy, of not feeling, awkward when they make mistakes, because I allow the room for mistakes, even from their personal side, So this is good thing that I think helped me to be confident to share it with you all here. The next process was always about recording 3 minutes presentation and 5 minutes and discussion in the class. So never more than that. It is challenging. You can imagine in 3 minutes they have to manage the opening for 40 seconds, closing 40 seconds, and the rest for the body. Because they have to always understand in 3 minutes, you should have opening, body, and closing. In 5 minutes, you should have opening, body, and closing. And 15%, 15% opening and closing, 70% for body. But the ujian is not 5 minutes. The ujian is 7 minutes. So it's more challenging. So it's give them a little bit challenge because they get used to it. Jadi prosesnya selalu demikian, ya. I think I need to go further with the benefit. So what the students has written in the feedback actually much beyond than I expected. So they said because they recorded many times, then they don't feel like they are managing their body language. Karena selalu ketika di dalam diskusi yang saya garap body language. Karena apa? Body language gak bisa dipelajari kecuali dipraktekkan. So I said to them, I'm not going to focus the first semester, the first half. I didn't focus very much on the language. I focus on how they manage opening, body, closing, and body language. Talk. Because when they master that, I'm very sure that they are going to be able to do more better language. Yeah. So they said they control their body language and eye contact. Why? Because to be able to record 3 minutes, they sometimes do the taping 10 times until they feel confident. Until they feel confident that the video sudah pantas dikirim ke Ibu Itje. And to sign it, I use Google Drive. So I set up an email, a new email for the class, in order that I can use the facilities in the email, and the students use it to send their work and everything. And for the discussion, I use VR discussion, so that I sometimes send in the group and personally when necessary. I said to them, I don't accept any personal WA unless I tell you to do so. You only send everything to the group so that everybody knows what's going on in the class. So you see, this is how teacher function as a human being when we think of technology to use. Eliminate their shyness. Tiba-tiba kok saya nggak jadi pemalu ya, men? Ada mahasiswa yang nulis dalam bahasa Indonesia, Ibu, saya itu orangnya pemalu tingkat akhir. Sampai mau pesen makanan di McD aja saya malu. Sekarang saya nggak kerasa sudah bisa berdiri di depan kelas, nggak mikir. You see? So there are many things that actually the students build themselves. We only facilitated, ya. Tapi tadi kata Pak Jati, facilitatornya benar gitu. Control time when talking. Tadi itu yang saya bilang, even 3 minutes, you should have your opening, body, and closing. Ada yang carried away, buat bicara 3 menit, 2 menit setengah masih introduction. Nah itu di awal-awal. Kok introduction semua? Iya miss, kayaknya saya lupa tengahnya mau ngomong apa. Gak apa-apa, ulangi lagi. Dan for you to know, I don't change the topic very often. So I keep on the same topic again, but they have to see it in different angle if they decide to use the same topic. Kalau kalian mau pakai topik yang sama, ngomongnya dari angle yang lain. Menghindari apa? Memorizing. Ya, because some students still correct their language mistakes. Ternyata, bentar ya 3 menit lagi. Saya minta tambahan 3 menit ya. Itu udah bagus loh, cuma 3 menit. They say that they correct their language mistakes on themselves. Karena belajar language acquisition will be much more quickly if the learner correct themselves. Kalau kita itu bisa koreksi diri kita sendiri, pasti pembelajaran bahasa itu jauh lebih cepat. Nah ini yang saya pikir saya nggak kepikiran tadinya. Practice speaking more spontaneously in public. Nah itu spontaneousnya itu yang jadi susah. Train my mental before speaking in public. Nah, mereka kebawa katanya. Saya suka bilang begini. When you repeat it again and again, your brain is shaped by itself. That when you talk, you should have opening, body, and closing. So, jadi mereka pakai kata mentally. Enrich vocabulary, especially on the vocabulary that I do not know at all. Ini sebagian saya copy aja dari mereka. Another benefit, assess and correct themselves. Much more confident. Ini kayaknya yang mereka paham. Semua anak bilang jadi confident itu kayak gampang banget, ternyata nggak pakai dipikirin. The lecture session become more flexible because they did not rely only on the docent to learn. They did not waste their time when docent was absent. Knowing me, in one semester, I know already which day I have to go for something which is, I think, the same important, but I cannot leave it. It's like 2 kali, 3 kali itu pasti ada dalam 1 semester. Nah itu mahasiswa sudah tahu kapan ibu nggak ada dan kapan saya melakukan apa. So it's really interesting. I didn't expect that the result is like this actually. Again, this is what I really want. Jadi ini yang pertama, tujuan saya yang tercapai itu adalah they control their own progress. My response waktu ujian pertengahan semester baru ngelihat pertama kali mereka alive, maksudnya nggak lewat video, saya kaget gitu. Orang yang tadinya berdiri di depan aja nggak ngelihat orang, begini-gini aja. Tiba-tiba dia berdiri dengan tegak dan ngomong, dari mana itu? Dan ternyata that's the impact of being taped. Ya, sometimes I allow them to tape themselves anywhere. Boleh mau di rumah, mau di mana boleh. tapi seringnya mereka berinisiatif bersama teman-temannya. Jadi mereka extra time, ya biarin mau extra time mau apa, itu for their own benefits, right? Not for the score. Dan di situ pertama kali saya mendapatkan mahasiswa nggak ngejar-ngejar skor, nggak ngejar skor sama sekali. Wow, itu mengherankan karena biasanya mahasiswa nanyanya, Miss, yang kalau nanti kita dapat A kalau gimana, Miss? Itu saya tidak dapat. Saya tidak sudah memulai di awal, kita tidak sedang berbicara skor. Saya ingin kalian meningkat dari di mana kalian ke di mana. Pastinya saya nggak berharap kalian untuk jadi public speaker seperti saya, tetapi kalian pasti bisa jauh lebih baik. Ini yang juga penting, yang berhubungan dengan digital literacy. They know how to cite. I said to them, you are not allowed to use Wikipedia. You are not allowed to use this and this, okay? So you have to find resources yang benar, and you every time they have to say where they cite from. Itu kalau satu semester mahasiswa digituin, kayaknya mereka risih sendiri kalau mau nyuri kerjaan orang. Yang saya bayangkan adalah kalau semua dosen yang mengajar literate, digitally literate, so kita akan memberikan contoh yang benar kepada mahasiswa. Ladies and gentlemen, of course I want to do a lot more than just, talking about what I did in my class. But one thing that I want to say for my last minute is that first, when we do teaching, especially when you use media, and when you know, young teachers, I'm sure you know a lot of new application, don't be carried away. Learning should have objective. Learning objective is the key of everything. Paying attention on the level of the students, so that they feel that they are appreciated. That's very important. Every one of us will be happy learning when we are appreciated. When our teachers show appreciation, okay, don't worry if your level this time is this. And hopefully by learning in my class, your level will go up. So that's what we need to remember. Materials and applications are all tools. And I just wrote as my quotation today to ITEL is that technology is human invention, but learning is human nature. Thank you. You can go to all my social media accounts 24 hours, 7 days a week.